Hey everyone, this is episode number 111 of the Unknown Games podcast. It's gonna be we got some pretty good news to talk about. I'm your host Adrian, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Alex. What's up, man?
What's up?
I feel like it's been forever since we've heard the ah or like a sound
I haven't
bite.
been using a lot of the sound bites, but I mean, there's this one, and this one.
I kind of miss those. Like it's like it has honestly been a while since we've been on the we've had some of those. But I mean, like honestly, I guess big news is what's been happening in the VTuber world. I mean, this is a show where we talk about games, Japanese games, our lives here in Japan, fast food, but we also we dabble in the VTubers. I mean, certain parts of us do.
Well, I primarily follow Hololive. I have yet to dip my feet into Niji Sanji, which is like a whole new ball game. Like it's a whole new universe. So I haven't watched a lot of Niji Sanji stuff. So I have watched a bunch of Niji Sanji like covers. We talked about this before, but what a VTuber does, they do not just stream games. That's how they're a little different from like Western streamers. They do more than just that. They also do live events and they sing songs and have song covers and original songs and have albums and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've never actually watched like a Niji Sanji stream. Like I've never watched one of them play a video game or something, but I've definitely like seen a Niji Sanji VTuber put out a cover of a song that I like. And I'll be like, oh, I won't watch that. And I've heard a couple of the Niji Sanji like original songs, and they're good. Like they're legitimately actually good songs.
I mean, like a lot of them have like really good producers. Like there's like actual like famous
like real producers. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
If like, and I mean, like everyone knows with even Western audience, I mean, music or any music in general, like producers can like make anything sound.
Basically, they can make anyone sound like amazing, right?
Amazing. And that's not to take away from the actual artist either, because they sound amazing too. So it's just like a really good combo.
So I mean, like I've yet to like really get into Niji Sanji, but I mean, in the world of Hololive, they announced a new gen, so the Japanese Gen 6 essentially.
Oh wow.
It was a surprise. I think it was 2 weeks ago. They're like, it was like a Friday afternoon, and they're like, Gen 6 is debuting today. And we're like, oh, holy shit! Wow,
like, oh, time to get ready to know some new people.
Yeah, so there was 5 new members, and they did a debut stream on like I think it was like one per day. So it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then that was their Gen debuts. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, I mean, hey, there's more news. There's always news happening in that side of the world in terms of VTuber, that universe. But we also need to take the time to say thanks for everyone who's joining us here live on YouTube, or if you are listening to us via Google Play or Spotify or iTunes. I got to say, Spotify has been pretty good. We've had a 41% jump in listenership on Spotify. All you Spotify people,
Spotify is definitely pushing podcasts. Just because they purchased Anchor, actually, who is our host, actually.
Right.
I don't know if you have to like disclose that or anything, but so Spotify purchased Anchor, and then ever since then they've been aggressively promoting podcasts. I don't know if you use Spotify regularly or not. I do. I would say I'm a heavy Spotify user. If you just go to like your home, I'm just looking at my other monitor. If you look at your home, like they actually have like podcasts just like front and center.
Just like plastered on the
And every year Spotify does what they call the Spotify Wrapped, which is like they will aggregate all of your data over the year. It's like what's your favorite song, your favorite genres, your artists, how long you listen, when you listen, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And they give you basically this super personalized, like, here's your year in review, and it's really popular. Everyone likes seeing
it's really
Spotify
nice.
Wrapped.
I mean, I like using it. I don't really use Spotify a lot. I use it for the podcast, but like it is nice just to have like that kind of, hey, this was your year wrapped up,
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I like seeing it, and then they give you like a playlist at the end. It's like, here's your top songs for the year, and I enjoy that. But this year, and I believe last year as well, they actually have a section in the Spotify Wrapped like video, whatever it is, for podcasts, and it's like,
nice.
Here's your top podcast, and here's how many minutes you listen to, and it's like, say thanks to creators, like a link to their
for real? I should go check and see if anyone sent us any thanks. I mean, because we had it gave me a stat that said like X amount of like people chose to listen to our podcast over other podcasts, and I was like,
oh yeah, you're probably watching the Spotify Unwrapped for creators.
Right.
Yeah,
for creators.
Yeah.
But it's still cool. Like, so everyone who's on Spotify, I got to say, thanks for the support and tell your friends, family. You know, we're always thankful and grateful for you. And same thing for YouTube because YouTube's been growing. Yeah, good news all around. So leave
Yeah.
a follow on
You
the.
know who my top podcast was in my Spotify Unwrapped for like me personally, for as a consumer?
Well, who?
It's virtually talking.
Yo, tenanda yo.
Yeah. It's like, here's your top podcast. It's virtual. I'm like, holy shit, virtual talking. It's so funny. But yeah, anyways.
Which you know, shout outs to those guys. Are they on hiatus right now?
Yeah, I don't think they've been recording recently, but whatever.
They're a good podcast. We love their podcast.
It's tough to, I gotta admit, like, a lot of people, I believe, especially during the pandemic, they're just like, we should start podcasts were so big,
Or blown
last
up.
year, yeah.
Like when we started, there were like, oh, there are people podcasting, and then like the next year when everything hit, it's just like, holy crap.
There's a lot of, and now, like in 2021, it's so easy to start a podcast. Our ad actually is basically riffing on that, but like,
yeah.
um, anyone can start a podcast now. You have you have a Blue Yeti microphone, like a pretty popular USB microphone. I have like this Blue Ember microphone, right? You don't need these microphones to start a podcast. Yeah.
I mean, I think you recommended my first mic. I still have it. It's that Samsung.
The Samsung
Go.
goes like $40 or something.
It's like
right?
$40-$50, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it was. When I go back and listen to the old stuff, I'm like, man, that little mic was
fine,
putting.
yeah.
It puts work in. I'm not gonna lie. It's
I
perfect.
kept mine. There's a reason why I had the same thing when I started YouTubing. Actually, I needed like a really simple, quick, second player mic, like a mic for a friend or whatever.
Right.
I picked that one up, and I was like testing it and using it for a bit. And then after a while, I stopped using USB microphones. I started using XLR microphones. So I use like the Blue Ember, and
I mean, there is honestly, you can hear the difference. If you ever watch anyone stream or listen to like any type of audio, like you can hear the difference.
between using microphone and
USB and the
XLR.
at least I feel like I am, or maybe I'm just not tuned perfectly on my USB mic, but I feel like I do hear a difference in like clarity and between the background, the person, and just I mean you can mess around with the EQ settings and stuff like that.
There's
but
definitely
still,
like, well, I mean, in that same way, there's good XLR microphones, there's bad XLR
there's
microphones.
bad,
but,
yeah.
No, I switched to XLR microphones. I was using this. I was using a Rode Procaster microphone up until a year ago. I might go back. I like it.
That's one of the best actually. That's one of the best in the biz.
I still have it. But the Samsung Go is a microphone that I couldn't toss out. It's like $40. It's like
It's
this
so
big,
cheap.
and I'm like,
You can-
oh, I could use this. Like,
Dude,
I'll
it
keep
does,
this.
and it
Yeah.
does buy. Was it like you can put it up for interviews, so like you can face it your direction.
Yeah.
It listens both ways. So I mean, it's got a couple
this
settings.
Podcast
It's-
sponsored by Samsung. Thanks for the money, Snow.
Yo, give it. But
Anyways, yeah, no. Were we talking about podcasting?
We're
Yeah,
talking about
no,
podcasting
It doesn't
in 20
podcast anymore. Yeah, okay. Sorry, moving on.
moving on. But yes, so thanks everyone for the support there, and of course you can follow us on Twitch. My name is Ninja Tricks on Twitch, so that's NinjaTrix. I stream every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you can also follow my co-host Alex at Route24, ROUTE24. And he streams every Tuesday and Thursday. These are both Japan times, so keep that. So it's like morning for all you people if you're listening in the U.S. or something.
Yeah, if you're in like the East Coast or whatever. If you're in the West Coast, what time is it? It's like even earlier.
It's
Yeah,
even earlier.
Yeah.
You're a trooper. We love you then. We super love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's hop on into the show. I mean, like, I think it was Saturday morning, and we've been talking about this on the show for a little bit for the past couple weeks about the Chrono Cross remake.
We mentioned it a couple times, a rumored remake.
The rumored remake
from the Nvidia leak. Yeah.
leaks. Yeah. But we didn't know exactly, and we still honestly, we still don't know. Let's be real. We still don't know anything if it's actually going to happen. But last Saturday morning, wake up or it might have been Sunday, and another Eden, this mobile game which I've kind of heard of, but it's not anything that I've really dabbled in or anything like that. There's this cinematic trailer for an event crossover with Chrono Cross.
Yeah, and honestly it's a hefty crossover. In most mobile game crossovers, it's like, oh, you can gotcha on this character or something like that, or there'll be like a really short kind of quest. Basically, this looks meaty. There's a lot of stuff.
This looks another, like, it looks meaty. It really is. And I say that because the trailer, typically for these type of trailers, it doesn't go that long, right? You get like
It's like
a little.
this is like a 2 minute trailer. Yeah, they showed off a lot of stuff.
They show up a lot of stuff on this trailer, and I was honestly, I think if there is a Chrono Cross remake, I think people want it to look like this.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
models,
there's
anyways,
two ways. I mean, the character. I mean, we'll watch the trailer for a little bit, but it'll eventually show like the in-game, like the mobile in-game kind of footage.
Right.
Where all the characters are a little chibi, which is a comical, thing. I mean, it happens all the time in mobile games. For example, if you play a game called like Arknights or something, the character designs for Arknights look so damn good, like really good.
Yeah.
And then you go to play the actual game, and then
And
it's just like
a
tiny chibi
tiny
characters.
chibi thing,
Yeah.
which I think maybe started from maybe something like Concore or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, these mobile games go in phases, and they all kind of riff on each other until you're in this is the current meta of mobile gaming. But yeah, a lot of the staff from I don't want to say a lot of the staff, but I think they have like the writer and like the musician.
Yeah,
the composer.
they have the main scenario writer, the dude behind Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger as well.
Right.
And they have the composer, Yasunori Mitsuda. He did Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, and he is supplying, I think, 2 tracks for this crossover.
Right.
Yeah.
And
He's a brand new song, by the way. This is a big deal. Like, these are brand new songs. Yeah.
I mean, here's what's interesting is that this crossover is not even called Chrono Cross or another Eden Cross Chrono Cross or something.
It's
not that. It's called Complex.
Yeah,
it's Complex
It's like
Cross.
an event. It's like a full-on scenario. Like, they got the guy to write like a thing for this. Yeah.
And that's what really shocked me is like, oh snap, this is all the way.
Yeah.
And like honestly, like we were talking about, if there is a remaster remake, if it looks this good, like if this is like what we're playing with,
as good as the trailer, not
as good as the trailer,
not the in-game,
not the in-game, but just the CG, which I mean would be something akin to Sword of Mana, right? Or was it Secret of Mana?
You think of Trials of Mana?
Trials of Mana. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh goodness.
Trials of Mana looked good. I mean, I didn't grow up on Trials of Mana. I mean, I could have, but I did not. I mean, it was Japan only actually, so I couldn't have. But I don't know, man. If you take a look at Trials of Mana, I mean, I streamed it actually like last year or something like that.
Right. It kind of reminds me. It looks
good, but I don't know how to explain it.
It doesn't have that extra flair you want it, right?
I mean,
it's a little rough.
There's 3 types of remakes that Square is doing. So they have the Trials of Mana remake, which the whole game is redone in 3D. Everything's in 3D, but the perspective stays the same. It's still like as if you're playing a 16-bit game in terms of camera. I'm putting that in quotation marks because there's no camera in a 16-bit game, but the perspective is the same, but everything's redone. So this would be similar to the Link's Awakening remake on the Switch, right?
Okay, right.
Then they have basically they're close to the remasters. So this would be like the Legend of Mana, or one of the other Saga games, basically.
Where it's kind of more of a.
It's closer to a remaster.
It's closer to a remaster,
it's just like everything's kind of cleaned up. Or you could look also the pixel remasters.
The pixel remasters,
FF1 through 6, right?
Right.
And then you have like balls to the wall. This costs us a lot of money remakes, which is like FF7.
FF7 full on. Yeah. I mean, where do you think? While we're on the topic, where do you think that they would land on something for a Chrono Cross? Obviously, it's not Chrono
if it's real.
Trigger, but it's still very beloved. It's still one of those series that I think people would expect them to go all the way in, but they wouldn't exactly be opposed to them doing something like a pixel remaster, correct?
Well, okay. So, yeah, I mean, a remaster for I don't want to say like a less effort remaster, but like just the ones where they don't really change much. They kind of just like they almost as if they like run it through an AI kind of upscaling filter kind of thing, right?
Right.
That would be fine for Chrono Cross if I know you've never played Chrono Cross, but it's just like an early PlayStation RPG. So I mean, you played like Xenogears, right?
Yeah. It's got those. We're familiar with the kind of the backgrounds, the static backgrounds that look really nice, and you have the characters that walk on them that are usually in polygon 3D type
Yeah.
models, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's
okay.
kind of like Xenogears where they could do that. They could just like AA upscale the backgrounds and kind of redo the models. Oh, here's a good example actually. The FF8 remaster.
Ah, yes, 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 yes.
They could do it like that. They basically made new models for all the party members and then they kind of just like made the backgrounds as best looking as they could.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They could easily do that. If I had the choice, if I was like, oh, do this, and then they would do it, I would prefer them to do kind of the trials route where they just redo the whole game.
Redo the whole game.
You don't need to reimagine the whole game. Like I'm not asking for like an FF7 remake style reimagining. Don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. I don't need that. It's fine. Just redo the whole game, basically. Yeah.
I
Just
feel like,
remake all the assets, but keep everything
but
basically
keep
how it was.
everything the same.
Yeah.
I mean honestly, that feels like a direction that kind of suits it more, just because maybe it's me just with the fact that Final Fantasy, while there is like there is kind of an anime influence on the. Okay, let's face it. I mean, it doesn't really remind me of an anime game, but Chrono Cross, looking at it, at least in this trailer or something, I feel like having it align something more with like one of the Mana series remakes, or
It's way
Trials of
closer to
Mana. It
that.
feels like
Yeah.
it feels more
Yeah.
like that. Even like a Dragon Quest look, though not the same. Don't imagine those eyes on these characters. don't
Oh,
don't
like the
imagine
Akira
Toriyama Scott.
Toriyama
Yeah.
kind of art. Yeah.
But I guess we'll find out, because, like you said, we were kind of anticipating something to do with this, because of the NVIDIA leaks, and we still have the Game Awards coming up, on the 9th. So there is a chance they could show something off related to this. I mean, that's a
I,
huge announcement, right?
I would just be so surprised if like um anything could happen really. Like the Nvidia leak has proven to be just the weirdest leak in the last year of gaming because like when it first came out, like when the list first leaked, it seemed like 40-50% of it was bullshit. It was like, why would there be
Yeah.
God of War on PC? Why would there be Uncharted? Like, why an FF9 remake? Like, they're insane. Chrono Cross never happening. And slowly, a lot of those things are like real.
They're coming true. Like, and the
Yeah,
crazy thing is, like, the Chrono Cross remake. There's not too many sources on it. No one's hopping on this story. It's not something that has been like leaked. There has been a couple of sites. I think maybe VG. Wait.
yeah, like one of
Crap.
those, like another like one site I think I've seen
One
it. It
side. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Video Game Chronicle. Yeah,
Yeah. Um.
but the leaks, that article mentions is like they had someone they had a vocalist for someone do a song and they said it was for a Chrono Cross remake. Now that being said, like we were just talking about the Another Eden like crossover and there's a new song in
There's
there.
a new song in
It
there.
could be that. It
Could
could
be
just be
that.
that.
It
Yeah,
could just
yeah,
be that. That's
yeah.
that's that's very, very, very likely. And then there's also like Final Fantasy Tactics. I think that was on the Nvidia leaks as well. And we kind of talked about that. This kind of off. It's a little bit off topic, but just the fact that the Octopath style graphics, but for like a tactics thing, that would be amazing too.
I mean, like Project Triangle Strategy. Sorry, not Project anymore. Triangle Strategy. That's the official name.
If you think about it, it is technically tactics. It's not.
It's kind of. I mean, it's a tactics game. Yeah, it's not. It's not FF Tactics, but I mean, that's kind of what it is. Yeah. If they did a remake of Chrono Trigger, I would just prefer them to just basically to make it look like that. Like the pixel art to me is beautiful. Like it looks so good.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be like in an anime, like an Animate, for example. If you guys don't know what Animate is, it's a national chain of anime goods, basically. But I'll be like an Animate, and I'll be looking at some merchandise, and then I like won't give a shit, and then I'll see like pixel art keychains, and I'm like, oh, give me that! Like, oh, those look awesome! Like, holy shit!
Yeah, I mean, like because
Yeah.
like pixel art never goes out of style, and I think that's why we still see. I mean, that's why we still see it. Also, shout outs to Sanoki, who is in the chat right now. They're also waiting for that Chrono Cross remake, and so hopefully we'll get it. That's the dream, right?
I think like okay, when the list first leaked, it just seemed so out there that I was like, I choose to not believe. Like this is like ridiculous. Like I would never believe that, right?
Right, right.
But like the more that like more time goes on and like slowly stuff from the list is coming true. I mean, some of that was not exactly out there, like GTA remakes or remasters. Like
which
that's plausible
that's
for
yeah,
sure, and
that's plausible. There,
that actually
yeah,
did
there,
happen. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but like I didn't want to get my hopes up because it's like, oh, why would they choose to do cross but not trigger, or why
Well, that I mean, that is a good question.
and
Why
it's like why a
cross not
re
trigger?
yeah, and I would totally understand the remaster, but like a remake, man, that's like that's resources you're spending, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and then they have like then they announced this the another Eden crossover with Chrono Cross, and then I was like, oh well, it's just this. This is definitely just it, right? But
right.
I think like personally speaking, as just like a fan of the game, I would be like, oh, you know what? Give me the do it. Give me the remake. You know what I mean? Like I want to see it now. So
It's. I mean, hey, the pressure's on Square. They're sitting on a lot of on a lot of different IPs that they, of course, have been going through and selectively remaking. And it's perfect timing because when else are they going to do it? It seems like they've gotten some of the staff together for this, and obviously, even when it came to Super Smash Bros, right? Sora being involved in that, they're very meticulous on how their characters are represented in any game. So I just feel like this is like if they have not decided 100%, which that would be kind of crazy, but if they're not, that maybe this is wetting the palate and maybe it's a test. Because this game is available in English. This is both on,
oh, another
Japanese
Eden, you
stores.
mean?
Yeah, another Eden. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they'll be taking in consideration how people react to it.
I think well, okay. I think for a couple of years now, Square has been testing the waters with various remakes and remasters just from the era. So we had the Mana like remakes. We had the remake of sort of Secret of Mana, and then there was Trials of Mana, and then we had Legend of Mana. Trials and Secret were remakes, and Legend was like a remaster kind of. And then we have the Saga. I can't remember what one it was. I think I want to say Saga Frontier. Like I might be wrong.
I feel like they did. Did they do most of the Saga remakes?
Yeah,
Or
they've
is
been
it just
doing yeah. So it's Saga
they're like
Frontier. So
slowly
Saga
going through?
Frontier, Saga Frontier got a remaster, but also Romancing Saga 1, 2, 3. Those also got basically remasters from the Super Famicom version to Switch and PC and everything, right? And what else has Square been doing? They've been doing so remasters, remakes, and also these games. So these games didn't do very well, but there was Lost Sphere and the one before that, I Am Setsuna.
Are those technically? Are they? That's RPG Factory, right?
Those are made by a small studio called Tokyo RPG Factory. But
Right.
at least I don't know about overseas, but in Japan at least,
They're
when
published
those
by
games
Square
were
or
like,
something.
sorry, what?
Are they published by Square?
Yeah, they published by Square. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when those games were being promoted in Japan, they were referencing Chrono Trigger like a lot. So they're like, oh, it's the same battle system as Chrono Trigger. It's inspired by Chrono Trigger. Like it's the same DNA as Chrono Trigger.
Right.
They kept bringing up Chrono Trigger when they were promoting I'm Setsuna and Lost Sphere, which is true. If you haven't played those games, the battle system is it's Chrono Trigger, right? It's Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's pretty much.
The story is completely different. It has nothing to do with time or parallel universes or anything like that. But the battle system, yeah. And the fact that they keep like bringing it up, I think it shows that the staff, this tiny studio, is they obviously grew up on Chrono Trigger and they want to like make another
Like
game
emulate
like that, right?
it. I feel like that we were talking about this a little bit with a game that you played. Was it last year? It was a Cross Code.
Crosscode, yeah.
Crosscode, yeah, which also heavily influenced, their design in terms of like the game, a little bit.
In terms of UI and
UI
theme and everything. I mean, the
stuff,
game
right?
play is really different. It's kind of like a mana game, but not really. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Sanoki's saying that if at December 9th, Square Enix will not announce this game, I will be very sad. If this is not it, I'm assuming at like the Video Game Awards, we're just gonna, Sanoki's gonna be like, nah, I'm gone. I'm sad.
I mean, I've already set
Tears.
myself up for disappointment, honestly. Yeah.
We come in half, we come in with the glass looking half empty. We're not half full people.
I'm honestly prepared for disappointment, at this point.
If anyone can do it, Jeff Keighley.
Jeff
He,
Keighley can
Jeff
make
Keighley can pull
everything right.
anything. He can do it. He can do
But
it.
personally speaking, Chrono Cross is pretty important to me. Like I think the first game, the first video game that I ever considered to be like my favorite game was Chrono Cross. Um, as a super good soundtrack, like I love the soundtrack to Chrono Cross. It's so damn good.
Hmm.
And the story is really interesting. I have to admit, like looking at Chrono Cross now with a second, third, fourth set of eyes, like especially like all these years later.
Yeah, right.
Story takes a while to get going, admittedly, but it's a good story. I think I like it.
It's one of those games where, so for me, I in high school, middle school, pretty much just listen to video game music. I mean, I would listen to
Yeah.
other, pop music and stuff, but a lot of the songs I would listen to were from all the Final Fantasy series, and then also Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger, the OSTs, the piano compilations, orchestrated stuff.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like I've never played some of these games, but I've listened to the soundtrack so many times that I fell in love with them, and I'm like, I don't. Sometimes I ask myself like, why haven't I gone and played them? And I'm getting that feeling like next year, like that's something I want to do as a goal. It's not going to be all of them. I can't play them all at once, of course, but kind of start going through one by one and kind of playing them because, I do want to experience these games, and I do want to experience even something like a Legend of Zelda. I've never played a Zelda all the way through. Like,
Do you know why I started playing Xenosaga?
why?
Because
That's a good question.
the first game, I mean the second, third games have different composed. The first game was composed by Yasunori Mitsuda.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, like I like this guy's music. I'm gonna play this video game because he did the soundtrack. So that's why I picked up Xenosaga 1.
I actually found out about Bump of Chicken through his blog.
Really? Why?
From Yasu's, I was just on the internet looking for like One Piece or something, and I forgot what it was, but I ran across Mitsuda's blog, and it was just like, yeah. Also, like Bump of Chicken, because they did an opening for One Piece Sailing Day, and that's how I found out about Bump of Chicken and started listening to them.
Oh, that's
So
funny. I found it through
it's
Bumble Chicken
crazy.
through Tales of Abyss because they did the main themes of Tales of Abyss.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, I guess moving on, and we don't want to forget Hiro. Thanks for joining us. And Sanoki is just saying, yeah, like we were talking about, there is a Mitsuda song in Another Eden. We did say that he's providing.
I think it's like two tracks, at least two tracks.
Two
Maybe
new
just one,
tracks for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
So
maybe even doing the supervision. So they're going all out, and that is called Complex Dream. That's what the crossover
yeah, the
is
fact
actually
that,
called.
so the scenario writer is the same guy as well, like the same dude from Cross. So it'll have the DNA of Chrono Cross in it.
It's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm
Have you
looking
played
forward.
Another Eden, by the way?
No. No.
Yeah, I mean, I downloaded
That's
it
what it's
like
gonna do. It's gonna make us
4 years
download it
ago.
at least.
I downloaded it like 4 years ago. I put like 10 minutes into it, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like uninstalled and deleted it from my phone.
I'm telling you, man. These mobile games, there is a cycle, right? There was the whole like gotcha thing. There we went through the what would you want to call it? Like the puzzle dragons. Everything has to be puzzle dragons. Then we went to the Concore, then the Fate kind of era, and now we're kind of in a more action-based Genshin kind of thing.
Yeah, we're getting. I mean,
for
mobile
some
games
regions,
are getting
right?
good, honestly. By the way, just one closing thing: if you guys want to play Another Eden, and you don't want to use your phone, it's on Steam. Another Eden is on Steam.
Wow,
Yep.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, so you don't really need your phone if you don't want to play it. I mean, just so you guys know, just in case you guys didn't know, it's not like they pulled in these guys from Chrono Cross to Another Eden. They were already working on Another Eden. Like the main theme to Another Eden
It
is
was just
is,
like,
is by Yasunori Mitsuda. Like he wrote this theme song like years ago. Like it's the same guys. Like they never like. It's kind of their baby a little bit.
It was always part of it. Like, because I mean, like here's the thing. Before we move on, a lot of these people who have worked on these beloved games that we like a lot have actually, like, within the past couple, I'd say within the last decade, have actually moved on from these companies and gone freelance. A lot of them.
Yeah,
a lot of them are freelance.
A lot of
Just
people.
gonna be
Like,
real with
who
you.
was it? The producer from the Persona series. He left Atlas.
Yeah, he did. Like 2 weeks, what was it, like last month or something? Like,
Yeah, he left Atlas.
He left.
But he's freelance now. So everyone's like, oh, Persona 6 is doomed. Like, no, he'll probably.
the man was like, yeah, I'll still be working on Persona. It's like,
Yeah.
and it just gives them a chance that they can work on other stuff if they want to. If they don't, they can still work on the thing that they've already worked on. We see that with Uematsu, and I think Uematsu, yeah, he does stuff for a little bit of everyone. Mistwalker, and then also Square. You know, he still does his stuff. So,
Oh yeah, I still want motherfucker. I want Lost Odyssey, man.
well, moving on. CEO just ended, I believe, today, and that's a huge major fighting game tournament. I believe CEO, if I want to say, is CEO in Georgia. I might be. I might have got my fighting game events kind of crossed up. But once again, you know, it's in a hotel, so don't worry. It's nothing, you know, Evo level or anything like that. But
I
still a
mean,
really
Evo
big
used to be in
major.
a hotel, actually.
That is true. How far the fighting game community has come. Got a ways to go. We still striving. But yeah, so Arc System Works gave us a trailer for Baiken, and I gotta say that I was not expecting a trailer for another character so quickly
Yeah, we
because
got Happy
Happy
Chaos like what
Chaos.
last week, right?
He just came out on the 30th. Happy Chaos is, they usually take a month to even just tell us, like, hey, we're gonna tell you when the next one might come, you know? Um,
They probably they either rushed out this trailer or they just like timed it because they knew this event was happening.
I don't know. I mean, so it looks like we're gonna get a new stage. Baiken stage is shown off in the trailer. And honestly, it's not like there's any gameplay or anything like that. It's mostly just a cinematic trailer. You know, there's not much happening, but
So the fact that there's no Baiken gameplay, maybe that means she's like really not ready. Like they're still
it
working on her
it
really,
could
yeah.
be. I mean, her model is there. She looks good. I mean, she looks like Baiken, right? She doesn't look 100% too different from how she looked in Exard, which is something similar to Jacko. Jacko doesn't look that different, but I guess if you put them side by side, you can kind of see what's different, right?
I think Jacko her halo's cracked for some reason in Strive.
Yeah, and her hair is it's
It's a
like
different
it's a
color
different color. Like the
because I
inside
think
of it's a different color
she
or something.
fused with Arya. That's why her hair is different. But yeah.
So I mean, hopefully they'll be giving a story mode for this. I mean, this is. I mean, we've kind of talked about this before. Baiken is one of their biggest characters.
Oh, Baiken's like definitely one of the more popular characters for Guilty Gear for sure.
Miss Samurai. Well, anime samurai, big breast, big chest,
Yeah,
kicks
I'm
butt,
just the
no
fuck.
arm.
Yeah, it's the magic sauce right there. Yeah.
You know, if her and Orin from FF10 met up, I don't know who would win, but hey, they would have a great time drinking probably. That's all that would happen.
Yeah, drinking. Yeah.
Yeah, drinking. Great. You know, we anyway, so that's happening. But I mean, are you still playing Strive, or is this going to be something that brings you
That's a
back
good
into
question.
Strive?
I'm glad you asked. The answer is no, but someone DM'd me like 2 nights ago. They're like, "Hey, are you playing Strive? Or do you want to play Strive?" And I was like, I could, yeah, I guess, sure." So I
It's
might, yeah, get into it again.
I mean, I've been looking at a lot of the previous characters. You know, we had Gold Lewis, and then we also had I think it was Gold Lewis, Jacko, and then you know Guilt or Happy Chaos,
So
right? And each of these
those are three characters, yeah.
those are the three characters, and then this is the fourth character, Baiken. And I've got to say, like all of them have been really have added to the game, and have each one like every time they come out, I've been watching the game more, and I've had like this itch to play. Like, oh man, I want to play, but then at the same time, I'm like, man, I feel like I missed out on some stuff. Can I hop back in? can I hop back in and enjoy it? And I'm sure I can, but yeah, I gotta say they've been doing a great job with this. Along with Dungeon, have you checked out any of the Dungeon Fighter
Oh my god, no,
DFO stuff?
no.
Like, holy crap, they've
Wait,
been
is there a
putting out.
crossover with Dungeon Fighter?
No. So ArcSys is publishing slash making the Dungeon Fighter, the DFO fighting game, and
Oh,
they've been putting out a trailer almost every day this week.
and what is
Like,
Arcs? How big is Arcsys? Because
uh,
aren't they all? Are they still supporting fighters, Dragon Ball fighters, or no?
I think the last update went up a couple months ago. I think the support is
So they're done. They're done
yeah, they're
fighters.
done. They're done with fighters. They're done with fighters, and this is actually being made by Aiding, which is they did Marvel vs. Capcom 3 along with Capcom. So I guess they're doing kind of a little bit, maybe some designs. I'll put it up on screen and just so we can kind of look at it because it is very much um, yeah, it's like Arc Systems in a Marvel game. but not well. It's not a tag game. But anyways, I'll pull it up really quickly. Um, and I forgot to mention though, they did announce that all of the Blaze Blue games, including cross tag, all of that stuff, is getting rollback netcode.
Yeah, I saw that. So I think I was reading a Japanese article, but it said the PC version of Blaze Blue Central Fiction is getting rollback, specifically just the PC version, and then the console versions and PC versions of Cross Tag Battle is getting rollback.
Huh.
So the console versions of Central Fiction for some reason isn't getting rollback. I don't know. Is it too old? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. It's like it's like sometimes I wonder like what's the method to it all? Like what chooses how do they decide? But hopefully they'll give it to Exart as well. But yeah, DNF Duel is I don't know when it's coming out. They don't have a date or anything, but the way they've showed off almost like 6 characters now, and I mean it's
This
stylish
looks good.
looking.
This
It
looks
looks
damn good.
Right. You see, there's a Dante flip coming in right.
This is
Right there.
This looks like fucking Guilty Gear. This looks really good.
So yeah, I mean like they've been pumping out trailers for this, and I've just been like, oh, holy crap, this looks good.
Why
This
is
looks
ArcSys so good at fighting games?
I don't know. Why are they so good at
it
it?
looks
Like,
really good.
uh, so it's gonna be fun to see that game come out. Because they've been, like I said, they've been doing a lot for it. I mean, look, this is just like all the anime fans got to be happy right now. Everyone's got to be happy.
This is so good at what is a franchise? What is a franchise that you wish ArcSys would make a fighting game for?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, we've had so many.
Yeah, you can pick any video game or anime, and for your dream ArcSys fighter.
Oh man, you go first. I gotta think about this.
Yeah, same. That's be tough.
I'm trying to think of like brawling animes that I've watched, and I'm just like,
any video game franchise, like I can't even say Persona because they've done it before.
I mean, there has been a Gundam fighting game, but I mean, I don't think I need my Gundam specifically fighting this awesomely in a game.
I guess like a Tails fighter would be kind of cool to see.
Tails fighter would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, they do. There is one that exists kind of on the PSP. It's Japan only, but like it's not a 2D fighter like this is. So Tails would be kind of cool to see.
Tails would be a good one. Man, I am really blanking. I mean, like we could get a. You know what? Any anime game done by Bandai Namco,
just give it to.
Just do it again. Just do it again. Just do it again. Jump All Stars, jump whatever that crap was. Do it again.
Jump All Stars. It's a fun game though. Have you played Jump All Stars?
No. Look. Do it again. That's all I'm saying. Do it again.
That's like a melee. That's called a platform fighter though. It's kind of like Smash Bros, right? So I don't know if that's out of.
All Star. Which is the one we're dealing with now? Which is the current Jump? That's all I'm talking about, man. The current Jump thing that's over, that's dying, that's dead.
You know what? You should just play Jump Force. Just play Jump Force.
That's the one I'm talking about. Jump Force. Do it again.
Nah, Jump Force is perfect as it is.
It's so perfect that it's dead.
That they're killing
It's
it.
dying.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe they can bring it back. I would say any of those, honestly. But they have a charm to them. I do a One Piece fighter. Like this too.
Yeah, One Piece would be really good. I mean, it is anime, obviously.
They've got a bajillion characters, just like
Bleach
Dragon
would
Ball.
be good. I would take a Bleach ArcSys fighter.
Bleach would actually be the best one.
Bleach would be pretty damn good.
Bleach would be good. Bleach.
Like none of us are saying Naruto. None of us said Naruto.
Well, no, because we already have some good Naruto fighters. You know, we got some good Naruto fighters with Cyber Connect. Those are good. Those are fine. Those are fine.
Yeah, I think a Bleach ArcSys fighter would be pretty fun. I would like
Bleach has that style oozing all over it anyways. Like just adding, Bleach would be good.
Yeah.
And we have 13 captains. We got enough people. We got a bunch of evil people. We got it good. The Bleach would be amazing.
It'd be a huge roster, honestly.
Or we could just cross them all over.
Yes, Jump Force. Yeah.
Jump Force again. We end up in Jump Force again.
Yeah.
So that's what all is happening in that area. And I guess for the last story that we're gonna do, and we're actually under time. I gotta say, we're under time. Can you believe it? We're under time.
Yeah.
Life is great.
But then we started,
License.
when did we start? What are we good? Are we good? Is that all our topics?
No, no. Do you want to skip the PlayStation Plus?
Oh, we can talk about that for sure. But I want to show you. Guess what could I pull, man? I got Fat Pikachu.
Oh man, Fat Pikachu.
Yeah.
You got the Fat Pikachu just now? You just opened
Uh,
it now? Just
well,
now?
I didn't open it now. I opened it yesterday. I went to the Pokemon Center. And I bought a bunch of the 25th anniversary cards because I don't know if you guys knew, but they're doing a Pokemon. I think it's called Celebrations in English, but in Japan it's called the 25th anniversary. Where they just pull all the cards are from like the whole franchise basically, and the Fat Pikachu card they redid in the full art card instead of just like the window.
Right, right.
Yeah, and I pulled them. I pulled them on
You
the
pulled
weekend. So
it.
yeah,
That is that is great. I mean, we had a lot of people who actually I made that into a clip,
yeah,
a
I saw
YouTube
that. So
short.
that's good.
People
Yeah.
people enjoyed Fat Pikachu. I gotta say, Fat Pikachu OG love right there.
Yeah,
Doesn't
so I
get any
got the
better.
full card art of Fat Pikachu, and I was like, "Oh, this is the best." Yeah, I pulled it. So
It's like the part two right now.
I'm pretty happy. Yeah,
The part two.
yeah. I don't think he's that rare though. Let me check the rarity on him. It's
It's still foil though. It was a foil one, so
yeah, it's a pretty common card. I mean, it looks like a full foil, but I think it's not too rare.
it looks nice. I
The
gotta say.
rarest card that I have, I'm just holding a bunch of Pokemon cards. The rarest card that I have is Surfing Pikachu VMAX. This is a triple, it's a RRR.
All I have on my desk, that's fat.
Yeah, it's the VMAX. It's like Gigantamax Pikachu.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the Gigantamax. All I have on my desk for a Pokemon card is like a Darkrai card.
Oh, really?
It's just a normal Darkrai. Nothing special about it. It's just Darkrai. I like Darkrai.
Anyways, what are we talking about? PlayStation Plus? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus. So PlayStation Plus is looking like they're going to upgrade. We talked about this months ago. I think we actually talked about it when they had just kind of bought Crunchyroll. Sony had kind of consolidated Crunchyroll into them, and we were like, wouldn't it be awesome if PlayStation Plus offered like a Crunchyroll membership, like a
Yeah.
limited tier version of it? And when Game Pass came out, of course, when Game Pass was really blowing up, we were like, well, they got to do something. They have all these classic IPs. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, what are they gonna do, right? And apparently, maybe we're about to see this. Apparently, the sources have called it like Spartacus. I think that's what it's called, Project Spartacus or whatever, which is saying that they might end up bundling, of course, PlayStation Plus, so you get your free games, and PS Now, which has all of their backlog for the most part. I can't remember if there's
like a bunch of back. I wouldn't say all of it. It's still missing like
it's a it,
well a lot of PS2 games, I think. But yeah,
it's got most, if not all, the PS3 library that you would want to play on there. It's got a decent chunk of PS2 games, but it's kind of iffy, right? It's also regional based. And
yeah. I mean, depending on where you live, you might have a different selection. So
right. So it's in it, but it seems like it might actually end up offering all the way back to PlayStation 1
I
titles.
would love
So
that. I would love that.
PS1,
Yeah.
2, 3, and PSP, apparently.
Like emulated onto a PS5 or what?
Who knows about that part? That's the weird one. They're saying for PS4, PS5, so either one, you'll eventually have access to this service. But yeah, I don't know how they do PSP other than
It would
emulation.
have to be emulated.
It has
There's
to be
no
emulation.
way they would be like, all right, take out your Vitas. We know you got them. Like no, like
No one's running a Vita server anywhere. Like that's not
yeah, you
happening.
can't. I wouldn't expect people. I wouldn't expect Sony to expect people to own a Vita. But yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where even Netflix, we're seeing, is starting getting to this a little bit. Not to this scale, right? We just know that there's some things that Netflix does in their little kind of gaming platform thing. But yeah, no one can you can't deny Game Pass. You just can't. You
it's
can't.
really good. I think it comes with Disney Plus.
Well, it comes with Disney Plus, Crunchyroll, Hulu, all that.
Does it really?
Jazz? Yeah, in the States, Hulu. But
That's
I mean,
that's a hell of a deal though.
but remember,
that's
it's
killer. That's
but
so
remember,
damn
it's
good.
just if you pay for, like, you get the first month free kind of deal,
Okay.
and then you
It's
have to
not
pay
like
for
it's
the
not
service.
bundled at all. It's not like
Yeah, it's
included
not
as
like.
values.
Yeah,
service? No.
it's not included as a value service. I think it's just you get the first month free, which is
Okay,
a
because if
trial.
it came with like Disney Plus or something, like that would be like, and Crunchyroll, that would be like, just don't subscribe to Crunchyroll, subscribe to Game Pass. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right, right.
yeah.
That's what it would be. Um, but at the same time, like this is great news. If they do have a lot of those old PlayStation games, maybe those PSP games or something like that available bundled with this service, I think that just gives a huge value to PlayStation Plus that currently right now there's no real reason. Like I was going without. If you're playing Apex, if you're playing a free to play game, Fortnite, any of that type of stuff, you don't need PS Plus. You don't. You don't need it unless you're playing other games that require you to use the service. You can play those games offline.
Yeah, free to play games won't require you to pay for PlayStation Plus, right?
Yeah. So for the longest time, I almost for this entire year I didn't have PS Plus because I was like I'm only playing Apex. Why do I need this? And I
Yeah,
don't.
I don't need. I was paying for PS Plus for a while because they were handing out free. I mean, they still do, but they hand out like free games, right?
Right. Right.
And you download them and you get to like keep them and you can own them in quotation marks as long as you're a PlayStation Plus member.
Right. Right.
What else? You get more cloud storage for your saves, which to me was kind of convenient. Or I think if you don't pay for Plus, you don't get cloud storage. Period.
You.
Right?
No.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I
I
don't
was
think you
using
get
a lot of
that.
cloud storage because I was switching between a lot of consoles at the time. So for me that was convenient. But I think in my eyes, like if I'm comparing Game Pass versus whatever this is supposed to be, like if it's true, it'll come with PlayStation Now. Game Pass still has the major benefit of the games that are you're playing on Game Pass
Mm-hmm.
are downloaded to to your PC or your console, so you don't need to like stream them,
Stream it.
right?
Right. Right.
If you live in a country where you're really close to the servers and or you're playing a game that doesn't require precise inputs, that's fine. I mean, I've seen a couple of videos. I've seen a lot of people compare like Google Stadia and Nvidia Now or whatever it's called, and PlayStation Plus, and they were like, okay, we're gonna play a game of PUBG or we're gonna play this game, and like RPGs, turn like Witcher 3, that was fine with the delay.
Right. Right.
But some like they said like PUBG felt like shit, like because you were dealing with like lag essentially, right? Because you weren't
Yeah.
playing it locally.
I mean, that'll be interesting if they decide to kind of open it up for something like that. Maybe it is a tiered service where
You can download the
you
games.
can download the games, but you have
You
to pay a little
can. I
bit
don't know
more. I
if you guys
mean,
know. Like, not many people might know this, but there are some PlayStation Now games that you can download.
really,
Yeah, but not all of them. I mean, there's a list on like Wikipedia or something like that. But you can download some of them. Most of them are just like PS2 games,
just
but
PS2
still.
games. But I guess I mean at the same time, since that option is there, maybe they have a chance to expound on it, or expand on it, right?
Yeah,
And provide
but
more
to me,
people.
like Game Pass, and I think this is also a really good selling feature of Game Pass is that a lot of new games are going to be day and date with Game Pass. Like Battlefield 2042, if you were a big Game Pass subscriber, you just had it. The game launched, then you have it. Halo Infinite campaign, you have it. Like you have that game now if you're a Game Pass subscriber. I don't know if Sony will do the same thing with whatever this is. So when God of War Ragnarok comes out, they're like, hey, guess
That
what? You
would
have it. You know what I mean? I don't know if they'll do that,
that
but
would be like I'm that's a good question because they make so much off like that's a huge appeal.
yeah.
But at the same time, if you're just getting it for free because you have the system and you're paying for the online, I mean, I guess technically, uh, I have no clue if it's in the budget, if that's how it is. Maybe, or maybe that's something that they would do going forward after a certain date, right? So for something like a Spider-Man 2, um, was it Spider-Man 2? Yeah, Wolverine, those games that are a little bit farther out, 2023 or something, maybe those get the benefit of like day one release, but because they're built with that in mind. I don't know how the finances work because these games
Yeah, they
cost
have to
too
like budget
much.
for it. They have to be like we're gonna like lose these many sales because we have these many
We
subscribers or
have
something like
this
that.
many
Yeah.
subscribers or something. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because Game Pass, that's a huge ass benefit for Game Pass. And I think as a PC as primarily a PC gamer, Game Pass still makes the most sense. But I would, as someone who just really enjoys like a retro backlog, like what would make me start paying for this is if they were like our PlayStation 1 and 2 libraries, all of it. It's on the service. You can play any of those games. And you can save them to your hard drive. That would be for me, I'd be so
That
sold.
would be nice.
I'd be sold on
Like,
that so
yeah,
fast, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think most of us can skip the PS3 era. I feel like
Uh,
I feel like at a certain point you've kind of played all of the PS3 games you're gonna play, right? I don't think you
well,
want to
and a lot of the
revisit.
good PS3 games, not all of them, but a lot of the good ones just happened to get remastered to PS4, which is backwards compatible with the PS5. So,
That is true. That
like,
is
if you
true.
want to play Last of Us remastered, you
You can
can
play
play
it
it
three
on
different
PS5.
ways. You
Yeah.
can play it on PS three, four, five. You can just
Yeah,
play it
and
as
the
many times as you want.
remaster is on 4, which will play on a 5.
Yeah.
So,
So, but yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing what they do, and maybe they'll do something at the end of the year. Sony typically has an event sometime in December, so after the Game Awards, maybe around the 20th or something like that. We'll see what Sony's cooking up. They don't have too much to announce, I don't think, but maybe just a couple of updates. We had a pretty big conference from them a couple months ago, anyway. So, but just to announce a service like this, they could easily just do it on their blog, and that's it.
do you think that like this is because there's I've heard from a couple articles that like this console generation is going to be the last console generation. Like eventually we'll just like have
I think we
um like incremental upgrades that are still going like games will still work on the older launch PS5s, but everything will be cloud streaming from now on essentially.
I still think we're too early for that. I feel like media pushes that more than the actual reality. I mean, we were saying this stuff when was it On Live? Was that the service or the
Oh,
service
which
before?
got what was on live again? Was that the one that got purchased by Sony?
Yes, I think On Live got purchased by Sony, but then
And
there
then that
was
turned into PlayStation Now, right? Yeah.
right, and then there was the service before On Live, which was I Gaikai
Gaikai?
or something. I think Gaikai was published like was purchased by Sony. Either way, there was another big service, but
Yeah.
like since the mid 2000s, that kind of time, that we've been talking about streaming and trying to get this more and more, to the point where we remember the Xbox One. Was that is I was getting confused. Xbox One didn't have like it was like you need to be connected to the internet
Oh, when they announced it,
when they
right?
announced it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
when they
Sony
announced
shit
it.
on them. Yeah.
And everyone was like, "The you talking about? I can't play a game without being connected to the internet." Which, I mean, I'm not gonna say that that's the same. We're not comparing, but it's a little bit like I don't think people. Uh, I don't think we're there yet. Just with internet structure, like in some countries, I think it's fine. In other
Some
countries,
countries
I don't
sure,
think
but not
it's
all countries. And
horrible.
even
Right?
in like Japan, like where we have very strong internet, I get kicked off every now and then. So right.
Yeah, yeah. I got kicked off so much that I had to change providers. That was, it was
Yeah,
horrible.
I need to look into changing providers as well. Like my ISP, I lose connection every now and then. It kind of sucks, especially while streaming.
I did notice that was it last week, last Thursday or something. I was like, it just kind of went down or something. I was like, oh,
Well, I mean, I had like OBS crashed repeatedly.
okay, that's what
Yeah,
it was.
I think
That
OBS
was it.
was just like dying. Yeah,
So
I was playing Tales of Arise, and I think my CPU just like choked, and OBS kept crashing. But yeah,
I mean, it is one of those things where, um, I just feel like there's still a lot of people who are tethered to physical stuff, physical, just that sort of thing. But with the pandemic, we've seen a lot of that kind of go for people. People have been embracing more remote lifestyles.
do you
They've
know?
had to
So,
have
I
the
have no
internet
idea.
more stuff,
Do you
right?
know which version of the PS5 sold more, the digital or the disc version?
That is a good question. They're finally making. Is it? They're finally making money on one of them. But which one? Is PS5 sold more? PS5 version sold more. I mean, that's a good question. All I see is like, which should I get? I want to know which one is which. I want to know which one sold the most. It looks like in did they actually? I wonder if they've even specified.
They might not even like announce the difference. They might just combine them into both. Like
In the
say like both SKUs are the PS5, and they're like, here's how many PS5s we sold.
I feel like at
Um,
one point we're still getting like people are like, "Hey, I've got a PS5," but most of the people I know they've gotten a disc-based version one. And then is that just the one that's more available as opposed to the non one, like
that's a good question. Like
or
if both SKUs were readily available, which one would be selling the most?
I am actually curious. I mean, it's outpacing the PS4 in terms of sales, but I don't know. We know this chip shortage should be going until next year. Like sometime in 2022, they've kind of said like it's still going to be a little bit rough. But I mean, like, hey, if you want to get a PS5, you totally can. Just maybe sign up to the Sony store or whatever. It's possible.
Yeah. Are you still looking to get a like you said you would just buy a PS5 if you walked into a store,
If I
right?
walk to a store, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, I guess the other way is just like if I could just sign up on Sony's website, which I can, and they just call me and like, "Hi, you have a PS5." The only reason I would really like this is because I would never have to disconnect my PS4 anymore. I could just leave that in my other room, use that as my Netflix box.
Oh, I guess you wouldn't. You could sell it if you really wanted to, but yeah, because the PS5 plays PS4 games. So if you really wanted to just like save money, you could just like sell your PS4. I don't know how much you would get for it now. Probably Niman or less,
Is
but
it
still, money's money.
which isn't bad. It's
Uh,
not bad. I should upgrade my TV as well. Just do it all.
you never bought a TV over Black Friday?
No, no. So I'm
Did you get
still.
anything on Black Friday?
I got an air fryer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I got
yeah.
my
You
air
got
fryer.
like
That's
something
been great.
practical. I got a vacuum.
That's practical too.
Yeah, it is practical. Look it up. We're adults. Adults. Yeah.
That's what happens when you become an adult. Everybody, you buy things that you never thought you'd be excited about.
I know. I hate it. Like when you buy a new appliance, you're like, I can't wait to use this. You know what I mean? 'Cause you're
You're
like,
like, this is it does it even better. It's more
yeah,
silent or
no.
something. You're like, gosh, why does this make me happy? But that's just life. When you get older, you
Yeah,
know,
it's sad.
that's how it is. Anyways, before we get any older, we are gonna leave for tonight, and we'll be back next week for another episode. Probably this is episode 112. The Game Awards will have happened, so there's gonna be a
Oh, we
lot.
can talk. It'll be Game Awards digest episode for sure.
It's gonna be so much. We can see what game that we didn't play won.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't play any of those games.
But until then, you can find us on Twitter at UGP_cast. And you can also follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel at Unknown Games Podcast. We're putting up shorts and Pokemon Unite videos and a couple other Portal 2 playthrough. It's a lot of fun stuff on there. So go ahead and check us out. And finally, of course, don't leave us hanging. We do stream on Twitch. So you can follow me at Ninja Tricks. And you can follow my co-host at Root24. What are you playing for this week or next week?
So I played Tales of Arise again last week, but I also played an indie game called Disc Creatures, which is basically inspired from Pokemon. If it looks like a Game Boy game, it really looks like a. I mean, check the VOD if you want to. It literally looks like a Game Boy game. It just if it came out during the same era as Pokemon, you would call it a Pokemon ripoff. But since it came out so many years later, it's a Pokemon inspired game. But yeah, I was playing Disc Creatures. It was fun.
Oh,
The funny thing
man.
about that game is I bought it on Steam actually, but the resolution, there's no like PC video options for this game. You launch it from Steam and it just plays in this like
Four
window
by
as
like
is.
four by
And
three window or something.
it's Game Boy sized. Like it's this tiny window on my computer that's the size of a Game Boy screen. And I had
Sounds
to
like when
I
I
was streaming that. Yeah, it
jeez
sucked.
jeez. It sounds like when I launch Undertale. At least Undertale allows me to like
Full screen
full
it.
screen it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
when
it
it
was like
launches.
postage stamp size, especially because of like a high resolution monitor. So when I was streaming it on Thursday, I did window capture,
I
and
thought
I
I
just
thought
like
that your background was the game at one point.
yeah, and I just
It blended
like
in.
made the window really big. I just stretched out the window so it looked like a big screen, but in reality, it was like tiny on my monitor.
The
Yeah,
tiny monitor screen. And but yeah, I mean it sounds like it was fun. I was watching you play it while I was doing my Ring Fit.
yeah, no, it's fun. It was a fun game. It was a game. Yeah.
And then I'm almost finished with Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts. I'm almost there. Like I'm actually slogging through it. Like, it's not over
Really,
yet.
it's not fun anymore, or what?
Well, I'm playing Riku's story, which is shorter than Sora's. It's not meant to be like, it's kind of like the new game plus, but the bad part is you can't choose your deck. It's all random.
Oh,
It
really?
and the boss, like the actual rooms are so boring. You just go through them. You don't even need to fight. Honestly, don't fight. Just go to the end. Go face the boss, which is the same boss from Kingdom Hearts 1, which is the same boss you fought in Sora's story. So you're technically fighting the same boss for the third time.
Well, I mean, if you played Kingdom Hearts 1, yeah, but
If
for
you
that
play
one
Kingdom
game, it
Hearts
just be
1,
the second time.
it'd just be the second time.
Yeah, okay.
And they're relatively easy, but the organization members require a little bit more skill. I don't think they're as balanced, but they're kind of fun fights. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done.
But
This
you'll be
week I'm
done
done.
soon, then you can play Kingdom Hearts 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can next year. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost there. But yeah, so anyways, that's going to do it for us. We'll catch you next week for episode 112 of the Unknown Games podcast, where we ask you the question: did you or did you not watch the Video Game Awards? And if you did you come out winning?
I can't wait to wake up on the what is it, the Friday morning for us or Saturday morning for us, and then be like, I'm gonna watch the trailer. That's it.
That's it. Trailer
Yeah,
recap
that's it for me. Yeah.
content. We'll catch you all later. Until then, peace.
All right. Peace.